Mrinal Sen was one of those rare breeds of filmmakers whose body of work, his style of filmmaking, or his philosophy of cinema cannot be categorized in any particular format. In a career spanning almost 5 decades, Mrinal Sen had changed his approach towards cinema on more than one occasion. His career, which began in the late 1950s, started by making films which were categorized by the then contemporary style of infusing melodrama with a realist approach, and his stories revolved mainly around the social oppression of the poor and the underprivileged sections of the society. His later films, which had a very starkly different approach from the earlier ones, characterized a mainly introspective and contemplative mood. Beginning from the early 1980s, films like Akaler Shondhane, Khandhar, Kharij reflected a kind of disillusionment of the political ideals and a cynicism towards the long-held beliefs that he had harbored thus far. This also reflected upon his filmmaking style, where the exterior sequences could be seen giving way to much of the length of the film being shot indoors, delving much deeper into the psyche of the people living within the boundaries of the four walls than the vibrant life that was throbbing out in the open. However, the most illustrious phase of his filmmaking career can easily be identified with the films that he had made during the 1970s. Starting from the 1969 film BHUVAN SHOME, which marks the genesis of the Indian New Wave in cinema, till the 1979 movie Ek Din Pratidin, this phase continues. It can be easily said that the film BHUVAN SHOME gave a new form to Sen's filmmaking, the use of a very lukewarm narrative, complemented with the use of footage from non-fiction documentary sources. The innovation in editing with the use of jump cuts and freeze frames, everything indicated the ushering of a burning new style to Indian cinema. The politics of unrest that was prevalent in Bengal around that time found a voice in Sen's films. In BHUVAN SHOME, he could be seen directing harsh criticism towards the conformist Victorian Bengaliness. His urgency to disrupt the status quo found its language in his film through the form. The primary intention of the director in this phase can be read as an urge towards self-deconstruction, since Sen himself belonged to the same educated Bengali middle-class milieu as BHUVAN SHOME. In his subsequent films, which comprise the Calcutta trilogy, Mrinal Sen tries to prepare a platform of discourse through his films where the contemporary generation can come up and say their words. For this purpose, he deviates from the conventional narrative structure of storytelling and incorporated the methods of Brechtian alienation. Hereby, he erased the fourth wall and invited the audience to participate in his cinema.
কিন্তু আপনাকে তো আমাকে আপনি ঠিক চিনতে পারবেন না। আমি আপনাকে শুরু থেকেই লক্ষ্য করে আসছি। আপনাকে তাড়া করছি আর কি, সেই সকাল থেকেই।
আপনি?
আমি দর্শক।
This can be seen in the famous sequence of the film Interview, where Ranjit Mullik's character introduces himself and the crew to the audience within the narrative of the film itself. He breaks the very illusion that film strives to create through its continuity editing, camera angles, and directly includes the audience in the discourse he was presenting in his film. This technique is also visible in his other films like Calcutta 71, Chorus, all of which were of this period. However, a uniquely different crop of this phase was the 1973 film PADATIK. Though Sen breaks his style of addressing the world outside the diathesis of the film in a literal sense, he employs much sophisticated tools to continue his discourse of including the audience. One must remember that Sen was a self-admitted Marxist. Therefore, his portrayal of the imminent conflict within the different factions of the Marxist party itself invited much controversy upon the release of PADATIK. Throughout most of the length of PADATIK, The events occur within the four walls of a high rise where Shumit, Ridhiman Chatterjee's character, is hiding. It can be argued that here Mrinal Sen has attempted a much more conventional style of storytelling. However, it has to be taken into account that the fact that Shumit is hiding from the police creates an impending fear of threat among the viewers that he could be found out any moment and taken to the jail. This looming apprehension, along with the use of non-fiction footages of women associated with the communist movement like Suchitra Mitra, Geeta Mukherjee, points directly at the world and times outside the realm of the film. The conflicts of gender, political ideologies of the times find a voice and discourse through this film, which transcends the boundaries of narrative and starts talking directly to the viewer.